Good morning, students. So last class we are discussing the concept of critical section and what is the critical section problem. As I have told you before, synchronizing the the process is restructured as a critical section problem, which having an entry section, a critical section, and the exit section, and all other codes comes under your remainder section. Mainly, the processes can share their data during in the critical section. At a time, only one process can enter to its critical section. Okay. So before entering to the critical section, the processes make a request or take a permission to enter to the critical section. That part of the code is known as entry section. Similarly, after completion of the work in the critical section, there is the exit section, so that any other process which is waiting to enter the critical section, they can proceed. So now we are going to discuss with the different ways of synchronizing those cooperating processes, which have been restructured as critical section programs. So ultimately, we are giving solution to the critical section programs. Any solution to the critical section problem must satisfy three requirements. Now, what are those three requirements? First one, mutual exclusion. That means at a time, only one process can enter to its critical section. At a time, one process can execute in its critical section, not more than that. Now, coming to the second property, that is your progress. Okay, if there is no process in the critical section, when the process is waiting to enter the critical section, there should be always a progress of the processes to critical section. Third property, that is your bounded waiting. Now the time interval from the request made by a process to enter the critical section and that request is satisfied, within that there should be some bound, there should be some finite number of processes, other processes that can enter to the critical section. Otherwise, there may be starvation, one process can wait for a long time to enter the critical section. So there should be some bounded waiting there. So any solution to the critical section problem must satisfy these three requirements. So last class already we have discussed one approach, that is your Peterson solution, which is a two-process solution. It is a software solution united. So using Peterson solution, we are taking two extra data items. One is your dot, another one is your flag. That is an Boolean array of size 2. And we have discussed the code, how the processes synchronize. And also we have discussed how the processes are able to, that's how that the Peterson solution also satisfy all the three requirements of the solution to critical section. Now Today we are going to discuss with another approach, that is your synchronization hardware. Now, with the Peterson solution, as we have discussed, it is restricted only to two processes. It cannot be applied to more than two processes. Again, it is not guaranteed that it can work on the modern computer architectures. That software-based solution, Peterson solution, is not guaranteed to work on the modern computer architectures. So, several other solutions to the critical section problems are there. It may be raised from your hardware to software-based APIs, which are available both to the kernel developers and the application programmers. Now, mainly all these solutions, those new solutions that we are going to discuss, are based on the premise of locking. That is, protecting the critical section or the critical region through the use of the lock. Now, the critical section problem can be solved simply in a single processor environment. In the uniprocessor environment, if we will prevent the interrupts from occurring while a shared variable is being modified. Okay? So, if there will be no interrupt occur while the shared variable is being modified, then easily the critical section problem can be solved in case of your uniprocessor environment. So, by this, the current sequence of the instruction will be allowed to execute in order without any preemption. Okay, whatever code are currently running, they will execute without any preemption because the interrupt has been disabled. So during that time, no other instruction will run. So no unexpected modification will be made to the shared variable. But though it is the easier one, but this solution is not as feasible in a multiprocessor environment. Okay, it is a too inefficient one in case of your multiprocessor systems. So operating system, those you are using this concept, are not broadly scalable. Disabling your interrupt on your multiprocessor can be time consuming because the message is passed to all the processors, and that message passing delay normally entry into each critical section and the system efficiency decreases. So due to that reason, most of the modern computer systems provide special atomic hardware instructions that allow us either to test or modify the content of a word or to swap the content of the two words atomically. That is, one uninterruptible unit to solve the critical section problem in a relatively simple way. Okay. So now today we are going to discuss with different types of hardware instructions which are normally atomic in nature. Atomic means non-interruptible. Okay. So different hardware, atomic hardware instructions used for synchronization. So that concept we are going to discuss. So there are so many type of instructions are there. It may be either used for testing the word memory word and setting it with a new value or swapping the content of the two memory word. So let's discuss with the first one. So as I have told you, any of these means using the hardware, atomic hardware instructions for solving the critical section problem mainly based on the concept of using lock. So simply in the entry section, they will ask to acquire the lock. If they will able to get the lock, they can enter the critical section. After completing the critical section, they are going to release the lock, and all other part is your remainder section. So mainly your hardware instructions, those are based on the concept of acquiring and releasing the locks. So come to the first hardware instruction, that is your test and set instruction. So just check in the left side for the test and set instruction, the definition is provided. So test and set instruction, it is taking one argument of type boolean. Okay, so it is simply a pointer variable specified of type boolean and also returning a boolean value. So just go through the definition carefully. The first statement, it was written boolean RB here I have taken for return value. Okay, so boolean RB equal to star target. So whatever is the value of that pointer variable, star means value at that address. So already you know that the concept of the pointer. So by writing boolean RB equal to star target, whatever is the value stored in that target pointer variable, that will be stored in the RB variable. And after that star target equal to true, that means now it will be set to a new value true. And what value is returned here by the test and set function? The original value. So it is returning return RB. Now remember this test and set instruction, test and set function, when it will execute atomically. Okay. So atomically means during execution of these three instructions, there will be no interrupt. That is boolean RB equal to star target equal to 2, return RB. During execution of these three, there will be no interrupt. Okay. Now, what we check here, the test and set instruction or this function returns the original value of the past parameter, and it set the value of the past parameter to true. So just check in the second line, star target equal to true means it is setting the new value to true. But whatever is the original value of the past parameter, that is returned. So test and set, it is setting the value of the past parameter to true and return the value of the past, return the original value of the past parameter, not the updated value. Remember this. So now in the right side, it is the solution to the critical section problem using test and set instruction. Okay. Solution to the critical section problem using test and set instruction. What? So now in the test and set instruction, just go through the solution part. Solution to the critical section problem using test and set instruction. So just check, it has taken another boolean variable, that is lock, which is initialized to false. The test and set instruction here, it has no, here the solution to the critical section problem using the test and set instruction, it has used another variable named as lock, which is of type boolean, and initial value of the lock is false. So just check in the entry section what is the code here. While test and set ampersand lock, that means it is passing the address of that lock variable to the test and set instruction. So already we have discussed what the test and set instruction will do. It will return the original value and set the value to true. Now, if the return value of that test and set instruction is true, that means the while condition will be true. In that case, there is a semicolon here. That means do nothing. Again, repeatedly check the condition. So while the condition is true, the process is not going to do anything. Simply repeatedly, it will be looped there in that while statement. Repeatedly check the condition. Now, if the return value of the
Ma'am,
test,
please allow Rahul, ma'am.
no, I cannot allow. I cannot allow. Within 10 minutes, all of you have to join the. No, within 10 minutes, you have to join. I am also allowing up to 15 minutes. After that, not.
Ma'am, but he's saying that he was trying since 10:12.
Within 1 hour, we are only going to join them. Anyone else? So now just check. So here in the entry section, the first box that was highlighted, that is the entry section. In the entry section, there was a while statement written where it was calling that, where it was using that test and set instruction by passing the address of the lock variable. So as I have told you, test and set instruction will return the original value of the past parameter and set its new value to true. Now, if the value returned by test and set instruction is false, then the while condition will be false and the process will able to enter to the critical section. But if the return value of the test and set instruction is true, that means the while condition will be true. In that case, there is a semicolon here in the while statement. That means the process will do nothing. It will look there simply by checking the conditions. Checking the condition in the while loop. Now, after completing the critical section, there is your exit section. In the exit section, simply the lock is set to false, so that any other process which is waiting to enter to its critical section can acquire the lock. So now just let's check whether this particular solution is satisfying all the three requirements of the critical section problem or not. And second thing, next thing, previously as I have told you, Peterson solution, it is a two-process solution. But here, these are not restricted to two processes. It can be applicable to n number of processes in anywhere. So let's take an example. Initially, let a process P0 start its execution. Okay. So as I have told you, all the processes are going to use a Boolean variable lock which was initialized to false. So now the lock value initially set to false. So here I am writing F to represent the false. Now when P0 started its execution, P0 entered to its entry section. So P0 first check this condition. While test and set ampersand lock. So who will tell me what will be the value returned by the test and set instruction here for P0? Yes. Test and set instruction will return what value here? It is returning, it is taking ampersand log. That means it is taking the address of this log variable. So what will be the return value for test and set instruction here? Yes. Here the definition is given. Am I audible? Am I audible or not?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Now tell me what value will be returned by this test and set ampersand log when P0 will execute this while statement. Initial value of log is false. So what value it will return?
False.
Jyotish, you tell what value it will return?
False, I think false.
False. Because here test and set it will pass the address of the log variable. Log variable store the value false. So what I have told you, what the test and set instruction does, it returns the original value of the past parameter. So original value here it is false. So that means it will return false here. The test and set instruction will return false. So false means, so while condition is false means now P0 is able to enter to its critical section. Now the test and set will return the value false. But what else it will do? It will set the new value to true. That means now the test and set has make the log value to true. Got the thing? Up to this, any doubt? Up to this, any doubt? P0 execute test and set instruction by passing the address of the log variable. Here just check the definition part. It is storing that address in a target variable, which is a pointer, which is a boolean pointer. So boolean RB equal to star target. So value at that address. Which address? The address of the log. Initially it was false. So now the RB value was false. Then it will make star target equal to true. As you know, target was storing the address of the log variable. So start target equal to true means it will make log value to true. And after that, return RB. So it is returning which value? The value false. So when the value returned by the test and set ampersand log is false for process P0, so it will not execute this semicolon. It will directly move to here, the critical section part. So now P0 is executing in its critical section. Now while P0 is executing in critical section, let P1 starts. At this point, let P1 starts. So P1 is also going to execute exactly this much of code. So P1 again start to its execution with this while statement, Now here when P1 will execute the while statement, call the test and set instruction by passing the address of the log variable. What will be the value returned? What will be the value returned by the test and set instruction when P1 will execute it?
True.
True. Because now the value of log is 2. So when P1 will execute, here the RB value will be 2. Okay, this is related to P0. This is related to P1. True. and it will set also the value to true, okay, and return the value true. So when it will return the value true, now what about the while statement? It will execute this semicolon. That means do nothing and again check the condition of the while loop. So that means simply P1 will loop in that while statement, doing nothing. Repeatedly it is going to check the condition when the condition will be false. Otherwise it will simply loop there in that while statement. Now suppose another process P2 also starts its execution. So when P2 will start its execution, again it will start from that while statement. So that means again P2 will call that test and set instruction by passing the address of the lock variable. Now when P2 will call the test and set instruction, what will be the value of RB?
True.
True. Because till now we have not changed the log value. So here again it is true. It will also set it to true. That means P2 is also, for P2 also test and set instruction return the value true. So for P2 as it is returning the value true means again as the while condition is true, the semicolon is going to execute, that means it will do nothing, simply looped in that while statement. So what we have find here, while P0 is executing in its critical section, any other process that is trying to enter the critical section is not allowed. Okay, so at a time only one process is allowed to enter the critical section, to execute the critical section. So which property has been satisfied here? Which property has been satisfied here? Yes, there are three properties: mutual exclusion, progress, and bounded waiting. Which property has been satisfied here?
Mutual exclusion.
Mutual exclusion. So just check here, it was written the mutual exclusion has been satisfied. Now, suppose, forget about the process P2. Okay, for the timing, forget about process P2. There are two processes, P0, P1. P0 was executing in its critical section. P1 started. As P0 is executing, P1 is looped. Now, suppose P0 completed its critical section. For the timing, forget about this P2 concept. There are two processes, P0, P1. Now, P0 after completing its critical section, what it will do? Make the lock value to false. By whom? P0. So once P0 make the lock to false, the P1 which was looped, it will come out of the loop because it is found that the lock value is false. So it will come out of the loop and enter to the critical section. Yes or no? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No,
These are
ma'am.
the two processes. So by making lock equal to false, after P0, P1 which was waiting to enter the critical section now able to enter its critical section. That while condition will be false. The test and set instruction return the value false. So that means here when no process in the critical section P1 is waiting, now P1 is able to enter. That means the second property satisfied. That is your progress. Progress property is also satisfied. Now consider this case. Suppose both P1 and P2 are looped. Okay, the way I have told you. Let both P1 and P2 are trying to enter the critical section while P0 is executing. So P1 and P2 both are looped in their while statement. That means P1, P2 both are repeatedly checking the while condition and doing nothing. Now, in that time, let P0 completed its critical section work and make the lock value to false. Now, once P0 make the lock to false, now whether P1 or P2, which one will enter to the critical section? Can you tell me? Can you tell me whether P1 or P2 now will enter to the critical section? Looking at the code, is there any
No, ma'am.
anything specified? No. So, which one will get it? There is no uh, particular code specified mentioned that whether P1 will start or P2 will start. Which one will first execute that while condition, get the lock value false, that will enter to the critical section. So remember, with this code, the bounded waiting condition is not satisfied. Okay, means this much amount of time, or after a process has make a request to enter the critical section, before that request is completed, this is the particular number of processes that are allowed to critical section. That is not clearly specified here. So this particular solution, remember, it is not able to satisfy the bounded waiting condition. It is only clearly, this particular solution clearly satisfy only the mutual exclusion property. Progress property is satisfied if there is exactly two processes. Okay. With three processes, the one which will get, that will progress, but there is no specific one which one will enter. So it is not satisfying the bounded waiting condition. So later we are going to discuss the solution to critical section problem using test and set instruction, which will satisfy all the three requirements. So this is the basic concept how to use the test and set instruction. Now come to second type of hardware instruction, that is known as your swap instruction. So all of you know the concept of the swap. Simply swap the value of two variables. So here also the same thing. Just go through the definition of that swap instruction. It will take the boolean pointer and swap their values. So here the solution, the right side represents the solution to the critical section problem using swap instruction. So beside the lock variable, here it is using the lock variable which was initialized to false. Besides that, it is also using another local variable named as key. Okay. Previously, only there was a boolean variable lock going to be used by all the processes. But here, besides lock, each process is using also a local boolean variable named as key. So now again, just check how it is working. Let initially P0 start its execution. So in the entry section, here it was there, it is making key equal to true. Then check the condition. While key equal to true, it is calling the swap instruction. So what it is swapping? It is simply swapping the value of the key variable and the log variable. What do you think? Here it is swapping the value of the key and the log variable, and that while statement checking the value of the key variable. So if the condition is true, if the while condition is true, it is going to do the swapping. If the while condition is false, then the process is able to enter the critical section. Okay. So previously in the test and set instruction, if the condition was the return value of the test and set is false, it was entering the critical section. If it is true, then it is do nothing and only repeatedly calling that while statement, repeatedly calling that test and set instruction. Same way here, if the key value is true, it is repeatedly calling that swap instruction until unless that key value is false. So once the condition in the while statement is false, it will enter to the critical section. And after completing the critical section, in the exit section, it is setting the value of the lock to false. So let's start with the example. Initially, the lock value is false. Let the process P0 start its execution. P0 having its local variable, that is key, which was set to let true. Now P0 equal to true. Condition is true. So for P0, the condition is true. So now what it will do? It will swap the value of lock and key. Key value is true, lock value is false. So after swapping, the new lock value is true, and the key value is now false. Any doubt? Any doubt? So first time when P0 will execute this while statement, it will find key equal to true. This condition is true. So now it calls the swap function. So swap function simply exchange the value of lock and key. So with that, lock value is true and key value is now set to false. So once the key value is set to false, once again when the while statement will execute, it will find key value is false. So now it will enter to the critical section. Now P0 entered to its critical section because the key is now set to false. So due to that, P0 now enters to the critical section. Now let's suppose at this point P1 starts its execution. Now P1 being started, it will set its own local variable key to true. Okay. Now when it will check its condition while key equal to true, it will find that for P1 condition is true. Now it will swap the value. Which value? The lock value and the key value. So what is the current lock value? What is the current lock value? When P1 calls the swap instruction, current lock value is true. Key value is also true. So both values are true means there is no changes in the key value. So what will happen to P1? What will happen to P1? Can P1 enter the critical section? So P1, it will simply get the value true means it will wait, or you may tell that it is looped in that while statement. Okay. It is repeatedly checking that condition key equal to true and always it will satisfy. So it will simply loop there and repeatedly call that swap instruction. So P1 is not able to enter the critical section. Let another process at that time P2 starts. So same way P2 set its local variable key to true and check the while statement. So here for P2 also, when P2 will check key equal to true, condition is true, it will call the swap instruction. Still the lock value is true as the key value is true. So there is no changes and P2 will also be looped. So what we find here, when P0 is executing in its critical section, neither P1 nor P2 is allowed to enter the critical section. That means which property is satisfied? Mutual exclusion property. Got the concept? Mutual exclusion property is satisfied. Now once P0 completed its critical section, what it is doing? It is set the lock value to false. Okay. So that means here it will be false. So once the lock value is false, now if there is no P2, if there is only P1 there and P1 is waiting, then once the P0 has made the lock to false, the swap instruction will change the key value to false. Okay, after swapping of lock and key, now the P1, for P1 the key value will be set to false, and after that only P1 can enter to the critical section. So remember, after P0 has completed its critical section, after making lock to false, if there is only one process P1 is waiting, then due to execution of the swap instruction, the key value will be set to false, and after that the while condition will be false, and the process P1 can enter to the critical section. Now, but if we will consider both P1 and P2 are there, again in the code here it is not clearly specified which one will enter. So this solution to the critical section problem using the swap instruction only satisfy the mutual exclusion property clearly. It is not satisfying the bounded waiting condition at all. Okay, so here the progress can be made, but in any order. It may be either P1 or it may be either P2. So there is no bounded waiting here. So now before proceeding to the next concept, all of you attend the quiz. Attend the quiz. Last 2 minutes, quickly complete the quiz. Okay. So now come to the third instruction, third hardware instruction, that is known as your compare and swap instruction. So just check, previously the swap instruction were having two argument and two, both of are your boolean type. Here the compare and swap instruction, it is having three arguments and all are of type integer. So one is your integer start value, which is a pointer variable, then integer expected, integer new value. So it takes three arguments and return one integer value. So here it returns the original value of the first parameter. Okay. So it was originally whatever is the value of that variable value, it was stored in that variable 10 and returning that original value. Now it is checking if value equal to the variable value equal to expected, then it will set with the new value. So it set the variable value, the value of the past parameter, to the new value, but only if the value equal to the expected one. So it is specifying three parameters: the expected value, the new value, and the value of the and the address of the address of a integer variable. So actually here that integer variable is log. Previously in both two cases the log was a boolean variable. Here that log is taken as a integer variable which was initialized to 0. So simply here it is passing the address of the log variable and returning that original value of the log variable and check if the log variable. So here just check how it has been called. The compare and swap instruction has been called. It has passed the address of the log variable and two more argument, one is 0 and 1. So that means it will return whatever value is stored in the log variable and check. In the if condition it will check if the value is equal to the expected value, that means 0, then it will set it to 1. Otherwise it is not going to set it to anything. Now if the compare and swap instruction, if the return value is not equal to 0, so just check. If it is not equal to 0, then the while condition is true. So that means otherwise, in other way, you can tell that if it is equal to, if it is not equal to 0, that means it is simply executing that semicolon and do nothing. If it is 0, then it enters to the critical section. So here the process which wants to enter the critical section should get the lock value which is 0. Then only they can enter. So again just check. Let initially P0 starts. So here there is a global variable lock which is of type integer. Prior to that, in test set in the swap instruction, that lock was a boolean variable. It was storing either true or false. But here the lock is an integer variable initialized with the value 0. So P0 when start its execution in the entry section, when it will execute this while statement, while compare and swap address of the lock variable, then 0 and 1. So for P0, now here, when P0 will execute that compare and swap instruction, after executing this int temp equal to star value, now the value of temp is 0. Because value stores the address of the lock variable. So star value means star at that address. So that value is 0. So for P0, when first time it will execute the compare and swap instruction, it will set the temp to 0. Then it will compare whether that value equal to expected. So what was the expected value first? 0. The new value first is 1. So as for P0, here star value, here as it was 0. So this condition is true. So condition is true means what it will do? Star value equal to the new value. That means star value will be now set to 1. That means the lock value now set to 1. And what value it will return? Return the 10. That means 0. So it will return for P0, it will return the value 0. Compare and swap, it will return the value up to this, it will return the value 0. 0 not equal to 0. Condition is not equal to 0. Condition is false. So condition is false means now P0 enters to the critical section. Now while P0 is executing in its critical section, let P1 start its execution. So P1 again execute the while statement. Now here when it will execute the compare and swap ampersand lock 0 1 for P1, here now the lock value is 1. So now the temp value for P1 will be 1. Now here when it will compare with the expected value that was 0, condition is false for P1. So it is not going to execute, it is not going to set the value. It will simply return the value. That means for P1 the return value is 1, which is not equal to 0. So this condition is true for P1. That's why it is simply do nothing and looked in the while statement. P1 simply looked in the while statement because P0 is currently executing in its critical section. Similarly, if P2 will start its execution, same way, when it will execute the compare and swap instruction by passing the value of by passing the address of the lock variable and 0 1, here also it will find the temp value is 1 because the lock value till now is 1. So here when it will check the if condition, for P2 condition will be false. So P2 also the return value of while is 1. So P2 will also looped in the while statement. So here what we find, here also with this solution, it is satisfying the mutual exclusion property. At a time only one process is executing in its critical section. After completing the critical section, let P0 set the lock to 0, just here. So once it will set the lock to 0, so the P1, P2 which were looped, checking that while condition, repeatedly executing the compare and swap instruction, they will get the lock value 0. So accordingly, either P1 or P2 can enter to the critical section. So this solution also able to satisfy only the mutual exclusion property, not able to satisfy the bounded waiting condition. So next class we are going to discuss with the solution to the critical section problem satisfying all the three requirements. Okay, so today mainly, let me summarize. Today mainly we have discussed with the uh, today mainly we have discussed with the basic concept of the hardware instruction used for synchronization. The three types of hardware instructions we have discussed. Remember, when those three hardware instructions, whatever we have discussed, all those are atomic in nature. In between execution of those instructions, whether it may be test and set, swap, or compare and swap, they are not going to be interrupted by any other instruction. Okay. So next class we are going to discuss with the solution to the critical section problem using this hardware instruction but satisfying all the three requirements. So now all of you respond to your roll call. Abhijit Raut,
Yes, ma'am.
Ankit Das,
Present, ma'am.
Simon Pradhan, Parthasarathi Mallik,
Present, ma'am.
Tanya Jha,
Present, ma'am.
Asutosh Mishra,
Yes, ma'am.
Nitin Kumar, Rahul Senapati,
Yes, ma'am.
Ayushman Ray,
Present, ma'am.
Chandrakant Gupta,
Present, ma'am.
Atish Raj, Jatish Naik,
Present, ma'am.
Pratyush Patel,
Present, ma'am.
Anup Kumar Mukherjee, Hariom Kumar, Sandeep Mishra,
Present, ma'am.
Tribikram Patnaik,
Present, ma'am.
Smriti Ranjan Biswa,
Yes, ma'am.
Rajiv Dubey,
Present, ma'am.
Sikriti Modak,
Present, ma'am.
Sambit Kumar Sahu,
Present, ma'am.
Krishna Murari Sharma,
Present, ma'am.
Rehan Ahmad Khan, Divya Prakash,
Present, ma'am.
Kakan Chatterjee,
Present, ma'am.
Asutosh Sinha,
Present, ma'am.
Debajyoti Das,
Present, ma'am.
Shikhar Swarup,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya Mahapatra, Shirsak Samantray,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Present.
Ananya Lenka,
Ma'am, Soumya Mahapatra
Present,
present.
ma'am.
Soumya Mahapatra.
Ma'am, Ananya Lenka present.
okay, Shruti Namra Mahapatra,
Present, ma'am.
Khushi,
Present, ma'am.
Nihar Ranjan,
Present, ma'am.
Shibulu Das,
Present, ma'am.
Nikita Rojalin, Nikita, Krishna Samal,
Present, ma'am.
Abhishekar, Kef Mohammadi, Anjali Gaurav,
Present, ma'am.
Priyabrata Das,
Present, ma'am.
Alisa Patnaik,
Present, ma'am.
Vidya Darshan,
Present, ma'am.
Aditya, Diksha Kumari,
Present, ma'am.
Amrit Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Rajesh Kumar Parikh, Satyanarayan Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Prajwal Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Rupam Kumar Meher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you can leave the class.
Ma'am, Hariom Kumar present.
कहाँ गए थे?
नेट इशू था.
ये पिसू था. Okay.
Ma'am, that Excel file is ready. Contains all the student names.
All of you have registered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then please you send me that Excel file in my mail ID.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
After that, I will enroll you. After enroll you, you can check whatever informations are available there. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So first of all, you send me that Excel file.
Okay.
All of you have completed your registration in the Moodle? All? Jatish?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everyone have done that.
Okay. Then you send me that mail. Then send me that Excel file.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.